Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to my Thursday Q&A. Next week, this van's going to look very different. If you don't know how these things work, check the description. I line it all out for you. So let's get started. RWS says, can I have the really cute chick's number? What do you think? No. Vagabond. This dude is awesome. Check out his channel, Vagabond. He also made my intro and my logo and the new design I'm working on with the t-shirts. Awesome, dude. But check this out. He says, I'm working to build a diesel van that will be converted to be able to run on used deep fryer oil in addition to regular diesel fuel. Have you researched waste vegetable oil conversions at all? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? I haven't much except for what very little you've told me about it. It sounds awesome. I thought that you had to convert the oil to biodiesel, which is actually a pretty intensive process, and it uses some pretty dangerous chemicals. So I was like, well, screw that. I don't want to do that. But it sounds like you can use just regular used vegetable oil and fuel your van with that, with the conversion thing you were talking about. That sounds amazing. I need to look into that more. I really don't know anything about it beyond what you've told me. Sounds incredible, though. RV Road Crew, 2 questions. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar? Roth, Kirk or Pickard, whatever. I don't know how you say it. I've only read it. Kirk. David Hewitt, have you looked into Bitcoin yet? It just hit an all-time high. Yeah, and I need to sign up for that. That sounds pretty sweet. It sounds like a cool deal. I want to get involved with that. I'm going to add that on my list of things to do. Jesse Stanford, what's a good entry-level camera that you can recommend that's not too spendy within the $100 to $200 budget? That would be your cell phone, definitely. Get like a Rode makes, I think it's called Smart Lav mic that works with cell phones really well. The main thing with cell phones is audio, and the low light is really bad. But other than that, cell phones put out some pretty incredible picture for what they are. Incredible picture. That's probably your best bet. Once you get up to like 300, 400, you can get like a intro level DSLR. For vlogging, though, I know you were talking about starting a YouTube channel. So for vlogging, man, having that flip out screen or really, really, really good autofocus is huge. Absolutely huge. You can totally do it with your cell phone, though. Other people do it. I think, yeah, cell phones are great. Cameron Moriano and Sandra Freibarger and Dan Costi says, who is Evie? Where did you guys meet? Is Evie your new lady love? Who is the girl? Okay, so here's the deal. I ordered a mail order Russian bride, and she turned out to be my half-sister, which is insane. But now we're totally going out, so it's good. She's not actually my sister or a Russian mail order bride, but I thought that was funny. What's the next question? Oh, where did we meet? She was actually, she was interested in the van stuff, and she emailed me and wanted to pick my brain about building vans, and we ended up just totally fitting kind of perfectly, so yeah. Boondocking Manas, you really poop in bags? I have. Okay, so here's my question. Have you been to Maine? Yes, I've been to Maine. You live in Auburn, and you're wondering if I consider going there. Yes, I would. There's UFO sightings and strange disappearances that I should look up on Google or YouTube. Yeah, that sounds rad to me. Definitely. X Austin XPX says, are you going to be installing your solar battery on the outside of your van? I was, but we ordered a pretty badass one, and it's like, how much is it, 150 pounds? Mm-hmm. 150 pounds, things like this big, dude. So there's really nowhere to mount under this van, and extreme temperature changes do affect the life of the battery, so being subjected, I mean, when you're driving in the summer, you know, even in the winter, the bottom of this van gets so hot, and then in the winter, it gets really cold, so that's, you'd have to have it in a pretty good case that would protect it from those extreme temperature changes all the time, and it just won't fit under this van, so it's got to be inside now. Pro Moto Life, how long has your YouTube channel been live, and what is your ideal posting schedule? I don't know how long it's been live, because I set it up for the motovlogging stuff, and then I never really did it. I made a couple videos on the motorcycle. Those are like my oldest ones. You can see they're still on there if you want to see them. So technically my channel's been around for a long ass time, but really I've been doing it for what, like 2 years now? Whoa, has it been 2 years? Yeah, because I started in Salem. No, it's been like a year and a half, I think, that I've actually been doing it. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to time that much. What's my ideal posting schedule? Probably 6 days a week. I mean, 7 would be like ideal, but taking a day off is awesome. But so is making 2 videos in one day. So we'll see. I'm going to shoot for every day, but I don't want to like promise that and not deliver on it. So I want to say like six days a week. Smooth walking lizard man. Do you ever come through St. Louis, Missouri? Yes, I do. I have anyway. Snow Cone Monster. If you ever come back down to Florida, I would do sick fabric. Yeah, I would do sick fabric work for you. Also, how does it feel not seeing the same friends or coworkers every day? Do you miss certain people or miss certain connections with people? How do you meet new people? Okay, I'll start from the top here. Thank you for the sick fabric work offer. I may take you up on that someday. How does it feel to not be seeing the same friends or coworkers every day? Awesome. I love being alone, except for with this one. She's different. Do you miss certain people? Sometimes. Do you miss certain connections with people? I don't know. I feel like people come into my life to teach me something, and then once we get as far as we can, they take off. So I try not to like hold on to things too much and just allow life to happen and people to come and go as they please. You know, if they want to be here, they can be here. If they don't, or they have something else they have to do, that's okay too. I just try not to hold on to people too much, because that creates all kinds of unnecessary emotions. And how do I meet new people? I try not to, for the most part. I like being alone, man. I don't, other people aren't on my, like, meeting and interacting with people is not on my list of things that I really enjoy doing. But I run into new people all the time. I don't know. I still like interact. It's not like I hate people. At least, like, I don't know. I just prefer being alone, I guess. It's just not on my priority things. I still meet people all the time, though. You know, just being polite and doing interesting things, I guess. Original Doodle, have you heard of the 5 love languages? If so, what is your love language? I think physical touch was the top, and then affirmation, and then quality time. Ned Ashton, how do you feel about the East Coast vibes versus the West Coast vibes? I can only really speak on the West Coast for Pacific Northwest and Northern California. I spent like a day right outside of LA. I didn't really talk to anybody while I was there except for the people at In-N-Out Burger, which I miss. I can't wait to get more of that. So I can't really speak for SoCal, but Northern California is a little bit different than Oregon. People are more friendly in Northern California than they are like Oregon and Washington. They're a little more distant and cold. There's a little bit more of a wall. It's kind of hard to get to know people in the Pacific Northwest. But on the outside, they're polite and very courteous. On the east side, and I'm going to say like New England down to like West Virginia kind of thing, the north, it's very efficiency oriented. It's very, I'm trying to do something, get out of my way kind of thing. This is very generalized. Obviously, this is not everybody. But they get things done up north. Everything's an objective and pop, get things done. And I appreciate that very much. Because when you go down to the south, it's like you go to a grocery store and you're going to end up talking to the grocery store clerk for an hour while there's like 20 people in line. But on the other hand, everybody's very friendly and everybody wants to be your friend. And everybody is, or at least they act like they want to be your friend. And everybody is so polite and considerate and courteous. And they have like that old school, like politeness to them, and I really appreciate that. So that's my take on that so far. What do we got here? Rian's Overu, laughing my butt off when you were yakking about naked wood hiking. Do you do that to scare the bears? No, I think that's like a bear attractant. Is Evie the one going with you? Yep. Roaming Rednecks Exploration. What do you recommend for video editing software? You it depends on how far you want to go with it. If you're just trying to do some super, super basic stuff, I really like Premiere Elements. It's really easy to use, it's pretty intuitive, and it's cheap. Well, I torrented it for free, and then I ended up paying for the pro version because I really liked the cheap one, and I wanted the pro one, and I wanted to give back what I stole, or borrowed, I guess, without their asking, so I guess that is theft. But yeah, there's also what's it called, Final Cut Pro, the Apple one.
Yes, Final Cut Pro.
There's also Final Cut Pro if you're into Apple. Look at the difference. You can also run Adobe Premiere Pro on Apple. So it's kind of a personal taste. They both do the same stuff, just in a little bit different way. The CTK 1000, great channel, thanks man, or lady. What I'd like to know is this: are there any van dwelling essentials you thought you needed in the beginning, but then slowly learned you don't really need? I've kind of learned that all you really need is a bed, some blankets, your clothes, some water, a toothbrush. If you don't have really, really dark window tint, something to cover the windows with. Roof fan is freaking amazing. I will never give that up. The fridge, I wouldn't want to give that up either. That's too handy. I don't need it. It's not an essential, but it's pretty darn close. Other than that, man, I'm way overpacked. Most of the stuff that I've had with me the entire time I've been van dwelling, I never use, so I'm just getting rid of. I'm actually starting an eBay account so I can start getting rid of some of this stuff because I just don't need it. I don't use it. Nancy Nightingale, how do we tap into your Amazon account? Is that what it's called? Yes, that is what it's called. I guess Amazon affiliate thing. When we purchase stuff through Amazon so that you get a few bucks. I ordered this tire inflated machine and forgot to tap onto the Amazon thing. Darn it. Anyway, how much do you get when subscribers do this? What is the percentage of the purchase price? Okay, so what happens is when you click on one of my Amazon links, it puts a cookie on your computer, and if you go to Amazon within, I believe it's 24 hours and buy anything at all, they give me a certain percentage. It's anywhere from, I believe, 6 to 10%, depending on how many products go through my name of the sale. So if you buy something, if you click on my link and then you buy anything on Amazon, even if it's not what was in that link, within 24 hours, say you buy something for $100, I'll get $6. You buy something for $1,000, I'll get $60. Unless I sell a bunch of stuff, then my rate can go up to 10%. But you gotta sell a lot of stuff to get up to 10. Usually it's 6 or 7% for me. But that's how it works. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way. I greatly appreciate it. Annoy the donkey. Who's the person in the driver's seat? There's nobody up there. She was last week. Janiska? With focus, it's easy to lose what is in sight around us. It's not the destination, but the journey which brings us to the destination. But couldn't that journey and that destination be so much more badass if you had thought about what you wanted to do first? I don't know. I'm not saying that you're wrong in any way. I'm just saying that there's other ways to think about this. I'm saying that maybe it's not this black and white. Maybe there's value in both. Maybe both have their upsides and their downsides. You know what I mean? I don't know. I kind of think about, like, when you've got two opposites like this, how can I balance them and make them whole? And are they really opposites, or are they just different sides of the same coin? You know what I mean? I know that's pretty vague, but I don't know. I thought I'd throw that out there. Toshi Suzuki, how is the new build coming along? Slow up until this point, but we've got some new stuff coming in tomorrow. We're going to bust our asses on this thing and get a lot done. It's going to be sick. Rogero Rodriguez, how is the van running? It's running awesome. It runs so good. It's fast as hell, huh?
Yes, it is.
This thing's got balls. It's fun. I love this van. Jason Blue, where were the most awe-inspiring landscapes you've encountered? I think Death Valley and the Pacific Northwest, like Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, stuff like that. Grand Canyon was great, but it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't make me poop my pants. But Death Valley was like, what? How does this exist? This is crazy. It's so strange. What is in my back right now? A clip. So yeah, Death Valley for sure. It's so varied. It's always different. I'm going back there. I'll make videos for you guys. You'll see. And if you can go there, you should go there. Caress. I think that's how you say that. Caress says, dude, have you ever considered workaway.info? I just looked into that. I hadn't heard about that until you mentioned it. Doesn't seem like something I'm interested in, but it does sound really cool. It's this thing where you can go volunteer all around the world for, they'll take care of your housing and your food for you. I think that's a cool thing. Prius Cowboy, rather than calling around looking for a high top to put on your van, why don't you get people to bird dog for you? You've got 21,000 subscribers. That's actually a really good idea. I've got one person that told me about a high top in Georgia that could be pretty cheap, but Georgia's quite a ways away, and I don't know where I'm going to be there next. I think it might be a while. So if anybody in California or Oregon, especially on the western side of the state, knows of any high tops for an Astro van, let me know. No Pro Go Pronto says, if you're going to stay at home in Oregon for a while, why not get a bartender job or bar back for a month or two and still make videos? One, I got too much stuff to do. Two, I hate being around drunk people. I cannot stand being around drunk people. It seriously makes me want to jump off a bridge. Number three, it would take me probably like 2 or 3 weeks to get a job, and then I would work for a week and then quit. Like, that just seems like a lot of hassle for for very little money. You know what I mean? It seems like it'd be better to invest in all the stuff that I'm doing now, which is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing. I'm not just making videos. I've got a separate life from that as well. Bear 8 photo. It depends on or isn't it depending on money to be free a limit? It can be. There's different kinds of freedom, though. I mean, the freedom of how I feel and the freedom of what I think and the freedom of what the freedom of what I do does depend on money in certain circumstances. There are things I want to do that require, there's no other way to do it besides money. Well, I guess there are other ways, but they have consequences I'm not willing to be accountable for, so I'm not going to do them. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess just there's different kinds of freedom. This is in reference to last week. What exactly did I say? I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know this is a reference to last week. Isn't depending on money to be free a limit? You know what? I'm going to backtrack on that, and I'm just going to say it can be. Sarah Joy, I really enjoy the Q&A. It's awesome. As far as the dental work is concerned, have you considered driving to Los Alagones? That's in Mexico. That would probably cost me way more in gas than it would to just pay a dentist cash here. I wish I would have thought about that when I was in Arizona, because I was right there. I was literally like right there. It probably would have actually been cheaper to do that. KSO Gaming, before a long driving trip, what is your go-to checklist for making sure everything is ready? Checklist? I don't have one. I just go, man. If something happens, I'll fix it. Chris from the UK, what's up, man? Do you now make all your income on YouTube, or you still have to find work every now and then? I make enough on YouTube to get by, and I have a feeling that once I get back on the road and start doing videos as much as possible, it's going to double and triple and all that. So I think I'll be good on not having to get a job again. Jesse Stanford, you're a Planet Fitness member. To your knowledge, does every Planet Fitness have a shower facility? Yeah, I'm sure they all do. Everyone I've ever been to has, and I don't see why they wouldn't. Let's see here. Austin Milligan, what is your main source of income? Google AdSense. Ooh, 1 minute. Damn, I'm good. Expanding Explorers. We're building our first solar setup. How many amp hours or wattage does your Dometic fridge use? I'm not sure, but it's very, 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 very little. And it depends on if you run it on 12 volt, 24, or 120. Check out the Dometic website. They'll definitely list that out. And I'm pretty sure that the link to the fridge on my website at intothemystery13.com/shop has a little chart on it that says, but I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure the Amazon, the actual page on Amazon says how many watts and amps it takes. Or, yeah. Lost Nomad, did you ever come across, or how did you come across the gig at the haunted house in Salem? Are there other gigs like that across the country, and are they hard to get into? I came across it. I was just walking by, and I saw the sign. I said, I'm going to work there, and I went in every day until they hired me. Yeah, I think there's haunted houses all over the country, man. And are they hard to get into? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Some of the people that worked there the last couple of years, it's pretty easy to get a job there. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Love yourself.